Hello Pokemon trainers, this is Fifi here. So today I'll be announcing my new project called Fifi's Relay Interview to Pokemon Unite competitors. The relay interview means like this. I'll be starting this interview from Ikura from APAC East. He will be answering interview and then he will decide one person who wants to pass the mic along. And that person also decide one person who wants to pass the mic along. I'll be asking this question to 10 people, and the only rule is that you can pass the mic along to Pokemon Unite players / casters / analysts, but to the person who lives in another region or country. The region / country category will be based on world's official rules. So basically there'll be Brazil, EU, LAN, LAS, NA, OC, APAC East, APAC West, India, Korea, and Japan, 11 countries or regions. I don't know how it goes, but I'm really excited to see what's going on. The reason why I chose Ikura, because he owed me one. Or I would say they owe me one. Alright, so Ikura, take it away.
Okay, so I'm Ikura from Orangutan in Wales. I was playing tank and support in my team, and our result is getting number 7 and number 8.
All right, so you were in Team Orangutan / High Five, and you are going to form a new team for the ACL?
Yes, we will no longer play together, which I have told before. And I believe our new team's announcement will be made soon.
Right, so yeah, before you coming into Pokemon Unite, what kind of other esports titles you have ever tried?
I play League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Apex Legends, PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. So I'm like playing FPS game mainly and League of Legends, something like that. Yeah.
So 10 years ago, could you tell the audience like how good you are?
not very good. Challenges, yes.
Amazing. You also play non-esports like video games. What is your favorite video game in the arcade?
I would say My, which is like a washing machine.
Yeah, yeah, washing machine. You're right. I know you met somebody really important. I was expecting that answer. Right, thank you. So we are filming this in November. How have you been these days?
During off season, I've got more time to enjoy my life and do it like doing nothing. a bit boring.
I remember that you once tweeted that you were actually expected to like quit Pokemon Unite after the Worlds because it was really hard to try balance your work time, your lifetime, and your esports training time. So do you still work full time, and how you manage your days?
Yes, I still work time, and like after working, I back to home, grab some food, and rest a bit, and then go to swim, like every day. Now I feel I feel regret. Back to the off season, like when I got nothing to do, I want to do swims. But now I feel tired. But
like non-off season, how long do you sleep?
I only sleep like 4 to 5 hours a day. Yeah, but even there's no swims, I still sleep 4 to 5 hours a day. I got something else to do.
All right. Do you have any advice to Pokemon Unite players to how to manage your time or life or your health?
I feel like it depends what teams you are in. If the team really working hard, so make sure you got enough time to practice with them, and yeah, you pay as much as your teammate do. I got pretty good teammates, and hopefully we can continue and maybe try better in next Worlds.
That's so excited to hear that. All right, so if you could be the manager of the strongest Pokemon Unite Pro team and can hire anyone from anywhere in the world, how the team members would be and why?
It is pretty hard question. Like there's many good players outside this world, and it's about the team performance and how the team work together.
Exactly.
Like, literally, so many good players in this game. So maybe, but for the jungler, Overload is no doubt.
And so,
And
what
then,
about top lane?
I think top lane is, for me, I think PKC is still pretty decent. He is all under is amazing. And you know, he's some shot call and his mind, I think this is like overall is a very good player. Yes. For support, I think Slash is one of my favorites.
Right.
Like he is he do a lot of research, as you can see his videos. And
exactly.
yeah, I also his understanding of the game and his plays is very good. Another support I will go for MYS Young.
Yeah, he was amazing today as well.
Yes. The MYS win the Open again as expected. And I think Yang is also a very smart player, and he can play every role, you know. So I think Yang is also one of my favorites. For Mage is pretty hard, you know. Maybe I will pick Yutao.
All right.
Even though they didn't have a good results in Worlds, he's still amazing there. Also dominate whole year in Europe, so he's still one of the best, I think.
Exactly, one of the best mage player in the world.
Yes.
All right. So you'll be the manager or coach or?
I will be the fans of the team.
Cool. Thank you. So who do you want to pass the mic along to?
I would like to pass to PY because I really admire him. I would say congratulations for getting number 3 in Worlds. And even though it may not as you expected, hopefully next year both of us will get a better result, and hopefully we can meet at Thailand in Asia League, because the winter tournament has become the qualifier of the Champion League. I would like to exchange my trophy if I can win the ACL again. I would like to take a winter tournament trophy, like I can possibly never get to win again.
You mean that he has already got the winter tournament trophy from the past, and that will be like, you know, Japanese only thing in the near future. So you think that the trophy is like pretty rare?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he got 2. That's too much for him.
All right, let's see how he answers. どうですか？動画聞いてみて。
来年は一緒に頑張りたいねって。
トロフィー交換してって言われた件についてはどうですか？
トロフィー交換は、勝ったらしましょう。勝ったら。していいんですかね、でも。それって。
どうなんでしょう。
勝ったらします。
ありがとうございます。なんかお二人の友情を知ることができてよかったです。今回のリレーインタビュー企画の第2回目は、PYI、ことシメピー選手にお越しいただいております。フィフィです。よろしくお願いします。じゃあまずすいません。自己紹介お願いしてもよろしいでしょうか。
年齢は18歳で、日本のユナイトプレイヤーです。戦績、WCS2023 が3位。ランクマッチの世界1位が6回取ったことがあります。
すごいです。はい。シメピー選手、職業を聞かれたら、なんて答えてますか？
学生ですね、今は。
学生であなたを代表しちゃっていいんですか？
職業、じゃあ、トップ e スポーツプレイヤーで
素晴らしい。
お願いします。
いくらから聞いたんですけど、もともとスプラ
はい。
トゥーンをやってらして、で、たまたまお友達に誘われてユナイトを始めたということだったんですけれども、
そうですね。
はい、もっと他の e スポーツタイトルで何かやっているタイトル、あるいはやっていたタイトルがあれば教えてください。
他は、なんかマリオカートとか、エーペックスとか、大人やってましたね。
うーん、
FPS とか TPS 系を
なるほど。
やってます。
ポケモンユナイトにおいて良い戦績を出すために、運
はい。
と努力と才能、必要なのは割合で表すとしたらそれぞれ何対何対なんですか？
あでもやっぱ運が4ぐらい、努力が5ぐらいで才能が1じゃないですかね、正直。
ご自身はそう思う。なるほど。運が4割っていうのがちょっと意外で、ポケモンユ
はい。
ナイトにおける運はどこの部分に関わってきますか？
やっぱ最後のレックザ2分のレックザがやっぱ運要素が強くて、
なるほど。そう、ポケモンシリーズの中でポケモンユナイ
はい。
トは結構運要素が減りつつあった中で、やっぱりポケモンらしさっていう運の部分がレック座星に現れているんですか
そうですね。
ね。
やっぱ
う
シールド
ん、
が強いんで、
シールドが強い。なるほど、そうですね。努力の部分は5
はい。
割。
そうですね。努
うん、
力で基本多分なんとかなるんで、このゲーム。なんか
はい。
序盤の動きとかも
うん。
努力じゃないですか、やっぱり。
うん、まあ、努力には、知識を仕入れて覚えておくことも含まれると思いますけれども、今、ポケモンユナイトをカジュアルにやっている人が、競技シーンに行くにあたっ
はい。
て、重要な覚えておく知識を上げるとしたら、
あ視界ってあるじゃないですか、ポケモンユナ
はいはい。
イトって。いや、それの取り方が一番重要なんじゃないですかね、競技するには。
なるほど、なるほど。
はい。
なるほど。それで才能の部分はご自身ではカバーできると思ってるってことですね。
そうですね。
なるほど。ありがとうございます。じゃあ、世界大会、ポ
うん、
ケモンの世界大会8月にありましたけども、交流
そうですね。
してて、なんか思い出に残ってること、楽しかったこと、何かあれば教えてください。
2日目に、
うん。
尊敬してたプレイヤーに声かけられて、
うん。
なんか、あなたのウラオスは一番うまいみたいなの言われて、それが一
えー、
番嬉しかったですね。
ちなみに誰選手なんですか？
トゥーンスリム、
はいはいはい
EU。
はいはい。素晴らしい。いいですね。ありがとうございます。そんな、あなたのウラオスは、もう世界一であると言われたシェネピー選手、あまりに e スポーツしていて、ちょっと人間っぽいところも知りたいなと思っている世界中のファンの方がいると思うので、ちょっとプライベー
はい。
トの質問をするので、犬派、猫派、
でも買うなら猫ですかね、やっぱり。猫好きですね。
iPhone か Android。
でも日本はやっぱ iPhone が人気なんで、iPhone ですかね、基本は。プレイするならそうですね、Android の方がいい
ROG
と
とか
思います。
ですか？
そうですね。
ああー、やっぱそうなんですね。
はい。
夏と冬だったら。
冬ですね、やっぱり。暑い
そうなんです。
の嫌いです、めっちゃ。
今まで行ったことある国は？
韓国観光しに、あと飯食べに行きました。
いいですね。何が
はい。
好きでしたか？
ヤンニョムですかね。
好きな映画があれば。
カイジが一番好きですね。
好きな音楽のバンドとかグループありますか？
ダストセルっていうグループがめっちゃ好きですね。いつも聴いてます、それ。
ラストセルの一番おすすめの曲は何ですか？
過去の蜃気楼っていう曲が一番好きです。
明日とかこの先とか今が納得できなきゃ明日前に出ないああ蜃気楼涙すらも枯れて僕らの音はぼやけてく振り返ってみたって君はもういない
ポケモンユナイトの世界の話に戻るんですけども、世
はい。
界中のポケモンユナイトプレイヤーでドリームチームを組めるとします。誰を選びますか？
中央はオーバーロード。明
うん。
治がナイトミューホクシー
ああ、
なん
はいはい。
で、サポートがユメニャン。タンクが
うん。
ポン GG。 で、上レーンが、ゲム、MIS のゲム選手。
はいはいはいはい。ご自身がいないんですけど。
自分、コーチで、じゃあ、
それぞれ選んだ理由を一言ずつ。
理由、オーバーローダーもまず全キャラ最強なんで中央に選んだのと、ナイト・ミホクシー選手がやっぱ相手してて、ミュウが一番うまい。なんか、そこ当ててくんのみたいな空火がいっぱいあって、それが印象的で選びました。
はい。
あと、ヒメニャン選手は、やっぱりいつもやってるんで、そのサポートを信じて動ける味方がいたら最強なのかなと。タンクはやっぱりコール、ここ入るよとかいっぱい言えるトン選手が向いてるのと、上レーンは、M さんは相手してて、抜けてくるタイミングとかがめっちゃうまくて、これで上レーン向きなのかなと思って選びましたね。昨日の話なんですけど、なんか、ミミッキュ使われてて、そこで、なんか絶対見えてないところに影打ちを当てられて、ワンコンされちゃったんで、もうそれで、この人うまって思ったのが一番かもしれないです。
なるほど。自分はコーチに就任すると。
そうですね。何も多分、コーチできないですけど。
いやいやいや。じゃあ、最後、このマイクを3人目の奏者に渡してください。どなたに渡しますか？
オーバーロードさんでいいですか？じゃあ、次は。
オーバーロード選手を選んだ理由は？
WCS2 連覇、相手をしてて、やっぱりいつもうまいなって思うのと、いろんなキャラ使えるってのがすごくて、何のキャラ使ってもうまいんですよね。もうそこで尊敬をしてて、やっぱりおばろさんの話を聞きたいかなと思って、みんなも多分聞きたがってるんで。
じゃあ、どんなことを聞きたいですか？
どうやったらそんな上手くなれるんですかって聞きたいですね、やっぱり。いやもう、次元違うんですよね。
なるほど。
普段何食ってるかも聞きたいです。食真似したいんで、やっぱり。来年の WCS も戦いたいんで、リベンジさせてください。
I guess it's kind of like the way I think about improving, trying to focus on the more like important things rather than like focus on like maybe like small mistakes or like minute mistakes that I try to like look at kind of like the bigger picture. Especially, this is a really good tip for like solo queue players as well to try to, even if you lose a game, kind of to try to like look at what you can improve on that game, even if like maybe your teammates are like the reason you lost.
And the second one?
I don't really eat like a lot of one food. I guess the food I eat the most, I guess, would be chicken. I guess I'm a big fan of chicken. But I'd say the most important part is to make sure that you get 3 meals in a day as well. It's really important to make sure that your body is healthy, especially it actually
Right.
matters a lot in esports that people don't realize. Yeah, I appreciate you taking me POI. POI is a fantastic player. I've only been able to play or had the opportunity to play with him a couple times. But every time I play with him, I was really impressed. Especially last year, his Serena is pretty iconic. But I appreciate that he thinks of me highly. I just want to say, he's a fantastic player, and I hope I get the chance to play against him again in Hawaii. Hi, I'm Overlord, the two-time world champion, current player for Team Luminosity.
What is your routine of the day of a big tournament?
So before a big tournament, I normally wake up in the morning and then cook myself breakfast, or if my parents are awake, they'll cook breakfast. And then a lot of the times I like to go for walks as well, kind of just like listening to music, walk around the neighborhood. It kind of helps wake you up. And then I normally like to take a shower before playing as well.
Okay. Do your team have preparation time before the tournament?
Yeah, I guess before tournaments, our team likes to get on a little early to kind of discuss like drafts and like strategies before the tournament as well.
So if you were asked about your occupation, how would you respond?
It's I consider myself a professional esports athlete because it kind of helps like the mindset. This year actually I didn't I decided to take a break off of school out of high school. So this was kind of what I focused on for the entire year this year. Next year I'm going to be starting school, so I guess I'd be like kind of like student esports athlete in a way.
Talking about school. So in a previous interview, I watched this in Pokemon Unite official YouTube, I guess. You mentioned that you have played physical sports like hockey.
Mhm.
And do you believe that engaging in physical sports or your high school studies has positively influenced your competitive play in Unite now?
Yeah, I would say it has.
Mhm.
I think playing sports and growing up has definitely made me, I guess, more of like a competitive person,
Mhm.
which is definitely like helpful with like the drive to like kind of push myself to be like the best player I can. So
Right.
yeah, I would say it definitely has positively
Uh-huh.
impacted.
Cool. So you play hockey and other physical sports?
Yeah, I played hockey all throughout my middle school years, and then in high school I just played soccer.
Okay, that's interesting. What advice would you give to others who is struggling on studies and their trainings?
Um, so I guess this is kind of the way I guess I grew up in my household. I would always prioritize school before everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. It's kind of like it's hard to balance, but like you can
Yeah.
do it.
Is that what your parents told you to do, or is that your own decision?
It was mainly influenced, I guess, by parents.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely wanted me to prioritize school over everything else, of course. So it took a little bit of, I guess, convincing to kind of get them on board with everything, but um, I kind of had to make a deal with them, kind of like, hey, give me this amount of time to, do this and this, or like accomplish this thing in the esport, right? And then if I do this, then like this is what I want to pursue like the next year outside of high school. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I guess that's kind of it.
Could you share a piece of personal information that fans may not be aware of?
I guess when I do everything now, it's kind of weird, but like I always listen to music, I guess, whenever I'm doing almost anything now.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Kind
when
of
like
excited.
playing or like eating or like working or doing something, even going out for a walk, I feel like I'm always find myself listening to music now. I listen to a bunch of different genres, but music kind of helps me like focus on like what I'm doing, I guess.
That's interesting. Spotify or Apple Music?
Spotify, yeah.
Spotify, same. So, if you consider the importance of luck, effort, and talent in winning Pokemon Unite, what percentage would you assign to each?
Um, so I would say luck is definitely the smallest percent.
Mhm.
There's definitely some luck involved with the game, with like I guess
Breakwater.
crits is like a big one. Um, and I guess natural talent is like they're both kind of small factors in my opinion, because like
Mm-hmm.
talent could be contributed maybe like maybe just like reaction time or something, something that's kind of hard to like
Mm-hmm.
improve upon. But a lot of it does come down to effort, I would say. Um, the hardest workers, that have like the best work ethic, that know how to like improve, that put in the most time, they're always going
Mm-hmm.
to be the most successful in my opinion.
Could you describe what kind of effort you put in to become two times world champion in a row?
Uh, so a lot of it, making sure I'm like constantly playing the game and trying to like improve my mechanics and my
Mm-hmm.
macro and stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
making sure we're like scrimming at least once a day with my team, and then
Okay.
always looking at like VODs and stuff and like what we can improve on like individually, and I think more importantly as a team what we can improve on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Could you share any enjoyable experiences from interacting with players from other countries or regions at the World Championship?
I have had fantastic experiences meeting and like hanging out with all the people from other regions. It's really cool because you kind of get to like see like different cultures, and
Exactly.
yeah, it's just really like a cool thing to see, especially when I've been in America for pretty much most of my life. It's just really interesting to talk to people and see like their ideas and thoughts about the world and everything outside of being a player.
Mhm. So, what Japanese food did you like?
Um, I'm a pretty big fan of the food in Japan, actually. All of the food I had was really good. I'd say, I guess my favorite would be, I guess probably the ramen. The ramen in Japan is really good.
All right. If you were the owner of a pro team and could build a dream team of Pokemon Unite players from all around the world, assuming there are no language barriers, who would you choose?
I guess I'd put myself as coach, I guess. Uh,
Okay.
so for top lane, I'd probably choose Ton GG.
Mm-hmm.
And as support, I'd probably choose Elo from my own team. And for jungle, probably Xingdi from Orangutan. And for attacker, I would probably choose Night Mew Foxy.
Right.
And then for a tank or defender, I'd probably choose Bruv. The reason I picked them, I guess, is they have something, I guess, that puts them above the edge of like that gives them the advantage in these games, you know. It could be like the way they play, or like maybe like a specific mon, for example, that like gives them the edge, I say, in matches.
So lastly, to whom would you pass the mic along to?
Yeah, I'd like to pass the mic along to Ice from Orangutan last year. I was really impressed with his play. Obviously he had played in the first Worlds as well. But
Exactly.
he's a good friend of mine as well. I really like him as a player and as a person, so I'd like to hear his opinions on everything, I guess.
So, any message to Ice?
I hope you're doing well, man. I saw you have like a new team, and everything. I hope everything's going good. I'm excited. I really want to see you again. Next Worlds in Hawaii. I would say this is kind of a fun question, actually. So recently, our team has gone through a little bit of a role swap, and our defender player Slash has moved to top lane. So I kind of wanted to ask his opinions on Slash moving to top lane.
Okay, I'll ask him. So, what do you think?
I think if the meta for top stays as defender, where you play Lapras, Blastoise, Gudra, these kind of things, he will do really well. So I watched some of the competitions they played. I think, unfortunately for Stash, because he has been playing defender for so long, he's not really used to playing all-rounders like Buzzwo and Zacian. So he's struggling in some small competitions in NA, where personally, I believe because like he's such a world-class player, hardworking player, he will eventually pick this up, and then do well with them as well.
Any message to Overlord?
Um,
You're being shy.
yeah. Overlord is such a great guy. Like, I had so much fun with him in 2022 when we went out in London together. Not just him lah, but Luminosity Gaming in general. They're all such great people. And whenever I ask questions about Pokemon, they don't really like hide things or like avoid. They're really great people in general. They just watching their documentary and talking to them personally, I really feel like they just want the best for Pokemon Unite and the best for everyone, I guess. And that's really cool. And
Exactly. All right. So our fourth guest is Ice-san. Hi, Ice-san.
Ohio, Fifi.
Ohio. So, you are a competitor from APAC West region, and it seems like APAC region have some inconveniences when it comes to team formation, I guess. I mean, the categorization for Worlds, Winter Tournaments until last year, and the ACL last year were different, I guess. So as a result, team rosters needed to be changed every time. So Ice, I believe you have been one of the players affected by these rules. So first, could you introduce yourself and tell us about your team's history?
So in 2022, I was part of No Lucario for Worlds, and then in the end of 2022, I joined High Five for Winter Tournament, and then I went as a sub. In 2023, I went back to No Lucario to play for APAC West, and then at the near regional qualifiers for 2023, I joined back High Five, which rebranded to Orangutan in APAC East, and yeah, that's my team history.
So during the Worlds, you were allowed to cross borders due to a special exception. Despite you live in Singapore, which is APAC West, you were allowed to stay with an APAC East team and participate in Worlds. So could you share the reason to the extent you can?
I'm not sure how much I can share, but during last year Worlds, basically the residency issue is you just have to show that you're living in the country during the time of the competition so that you could participate last year. And then for me personally, I traveled to Hong Kong. Yeah, so I submitted my residency, whatever the issues like for the regions like locks and everything. I think it's very weird because in 2022, APAC was qualified as a region altogether.
Mm-hmm,
And then
mm-hmm.
in starting from like even in Winter Tournament 2023, APAC is like all together, so I could play high five no
Exactly.
problem. And then
Mm-hmm,
suddenly ACL came along, and then it became like country locked.
mm-hmm.
And then I understand that because it's like only like maybe it's like internal competition for Asia itself, but I think it's kind of weird like locking it for worlds as well.
Mhm.
There's no reason for it like to be such a big difference from 2022 to 2023. I wanted to continue playing with like high five in after worlds. I believe we could improve a lot more. The rules are so like it's such a gray line, and even when we asked the admins, they couldn't give us a straight answer as well, which is kind of frustrating for all of us. But
It can be crucial, can be fatal. So I just want to raise this problem up, and I want everyone to know this problem actually happening and
Okay.
affected one competitor, us. So you are currently in Team MYS, and MYS is a team that Team Renaissance, Reebok and Yang actually formed independently during the off season. So how's the team atmosphere?
after the team roster changes where me and Doug HT joined, we have been doing well at every competition we played in.
Mm-hmm.
So the team atmosphere is at all-time high. We're just excited to play ACL regionals and to show the rest of the world that we are very good.
Right, perfect. May I ask where is Reeboks now?
Rebounds is currently serving his military service right now.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. And you're a college student right now?
I'm a university student.
How did you persuade your mom to,
Yeah.
focus on Pokemon Unite?
I was playing professional League of Legends since like 8 or 9 years ago, and then my mom told me like it's okay as long as I get my degree, as long as I do well in life. In afterwards, she will support me in whatever I do with my hobbies, and I think like it became very real to her after like one time like there was like a broadcast happening in Singapore, and then my mom saw it, and then she realized like, oh, my son is having success with his hobby, and after that she really like recognized it and she supported me throughout. So like this Pokemon Unite like esports career for me is not really something new to her. It's just that with Pokemon, it's a bigger thing now because League of Legends to her, she doesn't really know what League of Legends is. But for Pokemon, she like everyone knows Pokemon, man. It's so cool to
Right.
her. And Singaporeans have this mindset like I think even like most countries have this mindset where games are a waste of time, which which is very common. I think esports in general needs more advertising. I think like Pokemon is already such a great IP. Like even like some old auntie or like old uncle, there's like so many elderly in Singapore that plays Pokemon Go. So like yeah, like as long as I think Pokemon Unite, like if it gets more advertising, like you'll probably do well because Pokemon is such a big IP. But in general, I think like esports, you'll always be like relatively smaller in Singapore because of the mindset. But however, if you like look into this, like India, Indonesians, esports scenes is much bigger than ours, and it's like basically a career. But in Singapore, like you can't really make a career out of esports, which is probably why like there's such little attention like given to it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Is that a foodie from Pokemon Unite Winter Champions League?
Yeah.
Can you show us?
Sure.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I saw you for the first time, you were trolling. I mean, you were sending a false invitation to high five on stage, and I was like, what the hell are they doing? All right, so I've got last two questions. So if you are the owner of a pro team and could build a dream team of Pokemon Unite players from all around the world, so who would you choose as rosters?
I think for top lane, I'll choose Overlord.
Mhm.
I won't choose him jungle because I think Overlord will do well in any role. For jungle, I'll show some love to my teammate and choose HT. Yeah, with a lot more effort and work, he's potentially one of the best junglers in the world. For bot lane, I'll choose Xingti. Yeah, despite him playing jungle, I think like his true talent lies in playing mages. So if I could, I'll put Xingti in the bot lane. For defender, I'll probably choose Megu. And then for top lane support, I think maybe I'll choose Elo. I think Elo is very underrated, but like if you watch his gameplay, I think you can tell that he himself is very smart. Then for the coach, I choose Slash. Then I'm just happy to watch my team win.
This is our final question. To who would you pass the mic along to?
And when I first started Pokemon Unite, I watched TTV,
Mhm.
and I was most impressed with Inder and Toon Slim and Zarak. So for me personally, I'll just choose Toon Slim for the next person to pass on. Yeah.
Thanks very much. Have you got any message to Toon Slim?
Hi Toon, I saw your new team with Megu, Brav, Yutao, and Edesu. That sounds like a really sick roster, and I hope you guys do well in the EU IC. I hope if and when we meet in Hawaii, you guys won't bang the walls again during team trading, because we heard it clearly in Japan, and I wish you guys all the best. Please remember to Fire Blast properly, if not you're gonna lose our words again.
And so, do you have any questions to ask to Toon Slim?
Toon, how do you think you guys will do, your new roster will do in the EU IC? And how well do you think EU will perform next Worlds? Because this year you guys choked it.
Toon Slim, what do you think?
I don't know. There's a lot. I don't know what to respond to. It's a long message. Obviously, they announced the new format for UIC,
Yeah.
so it's going to be exciting. Hopefully, we do well, but it's basically a mini Worlds, right? So, without the Eastern team, so it's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of great teams there, so hopefully we can show our best stuff and not disappoint Ice.
Exactly. Do you think your Charizard will know how to
Fire Blast.
fire blast
I mean,
properly?
Luckily, I don't play Charizard anymore on my team, so I won't need to know how to.
Right, got it.
It's because his team was next door and they were really loud. Really
Oh.
loud. So that's why I banged the wall.
I got-
Loud. A lot of teams complained about them. Very loud people, Orangutan. It was because they were too loud.
Oh, gotcha. Is it okay to add this part, or do you want?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay. All right.
Hi, I'm Toonslim. I'm a professional Unite player in the Europe region. Last year I played at Worlds on the Talibobo Believers, and we came 9th.
The region called Europe has over 700 million people in total, and you can form a Pokemon Unite team from that, huge human resources. But on the other hand, Europe is a region of many countries with many different histories and traditions. So I think the freedom to form teams from that 700 million people seems to make it difficult to achieve team cohesion. So what do you think from your experience?
Yeah, I've definitely felt that a bit. I mean, obviously, if you can't speak English, it's a big barrier. I mean, you do have teams that only speak like a certain language. So there's some teams that only speak French, but the majority of teams only speak English. Examples I have is like, I started teaming with Adesu this year. For next year, he couldn't really understand what I was saying when I spoke fast. And then, like, there are some players who can't speak English at all that just have to learn. So
I mean, in a few words, how would you describe the unique features of each region's battle style in Pokemon Unite?
I probably watch more than most players, and there are definitely differences. So like, EU and NA are pretty similar. It's usually just like meta game, like there's just small differences, but overall, like the players communicate a lot. So that then you have the LATAM teams. LATAM is like really aggressive. Like they like speedsters. They like to go fast. They break instantly. They're just trying to bully you on the map the whole time. And then like the Eastern teams, like I don't have as much of a grip of their meta. The one thing I noticed about the Eastern teams is like meta ends up very homogenous usually. Other than outliers like Secret Ship, who just draft whatever they want. Like generally, if like the best team thinks something is good, all the other teams will draft that. Like no matter what. So like an example is at Worlds, Oyasumi and MJK had really strong water bear players. And then all the teams, as far as I could tell, in the East were just spamming water bear. And it was just like, okay, but you don't have the same players, so it's not as good. But like, I can't like break down the Eastern regions because I'm not like super familiar with them. So like, I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference between like APAC West and APAC East.
Right.
Or like things like that.
Very interesting. Thank you very much. So yeah, talking about other countries or other regions. So there was a World Championships in August. So how much can you tell us about the boot camp and your team effort before the Worlds?
We arrived about a week and a half early.
Mhm.
I mean, we secured the boot camp with the help of Fifi. Thank you very much.
No problem, my
Fifi
pleasure.
helped us set up the boot camping, and then we just practiced every day. And then, I mean, the food in Japan is great, so we just ate together every day.
Mhm.
So we boot camped with TTV for the most part. We'd scrim TTV or a lot of the different teams, and then like we just tried to get like obviously getting rid of jet lag. We put a lot of effort into it. You can
Mhm.
obviously expand your practice pool, which is
Exactly.
great. So like this year for Hawaii, like you have to decide where you're going to boot camp, because boot camping in Hawaii doesn't sound like a good idea. So you're going to have people who want to scrim you.
Mhm.
So yeah, but if you have the opportunity to, it's a good experience. You get to know your team more.
What did you find Japan most interesting?
I feel like I vibe with what Japan's got going on. Public transport was great.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's like minding their own business. That's kind of what I do. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then,
I know what you mean.
And then like I'm too lazy to make food, so I just go to the supermarket and they have all the ready meals, and I'm like, great.
Exactly. I saw on X that some EU players or NA players complaining that they don't have any official like tournaments such as winter tournaments or like Dragon King tournaments that we have in Japan or in Asia.
I think the main complaint is like the players look and they see like the ACL and the ACL qualifies, right? And they're like quite big tournaments, so like 20k prize pools to qualify into the ACL. They want something to like work towards during the off season. I mean, it would be nice. I understand why we don't have it, but it would be nice to have. Everyone would appreciate it, but it is what it is.
So I want your idea. What would it take for more Pokemon Unite and esports to catch on in Europe? Then?
In Europe, it's tough to say because Europe is so different. I mean, realistically, like more tournaments, more prize pool, garner more interest, and then more people will play. That's only going to happen if more people watch.
Mhm.
So, like trying to make the game more appealing for people to watch and or grow. Also, like the game being better will like make more people play. And then I don't have like a silver bullet on how to make it bigger. Yeah.
All right, thanks very much. So your occupation is a
I mainly play Pokemon Unite. Obviously, I stream and I do like accounting on the side.
okay.
I am a qualified accountant, so I just do accounting a little bit,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
I put that in the back seat once my stream started popping off.
You're smart, then. You're a smart guy.
Mm.
So if you were the owner of a pro team and could build a dream team of Pokemon Unite players from all around the world, who would you choose as rosters?
I'll try to include people that haven't been included because I think there are a lot of great players. Like, it just depends on your setup. So for tank, I'll go for Kira. He plays in LATAM North. Yeah, big fan of Kira.
Okay.
For the central area, I'll go for a Trainer from North America. Trainer hasn't got the biggest hero pool, but the mons he's good at, he's very good at. And he's able to get great results from the central area. For top lane, I'll go with Falb from 00 Nation. I mean, I ended up playing top lane against him at Worlds, and honestly, he seemed like he knew what he was doing a lot more than the other top laners I play against. So, for attacker, I said I was going to go ZZ Ray. Big fan of ZZ Ray. Talked to him at Worlds. I watched him a lot throughout the year, and I liked what he was doing. Some good mage play. Then for support, I don't know. I'll just pick Elo, man. I love Elo. Elo is like my favorite. He looks like a model. He's got it all going on. I love Elo. Yeah. And for coach, I'll go for Zervis. Zervis can be the coach. Zervis very, very collected, well thought out ideas. Got a lot of respect for Zervis. I think he'd be great in the coach role. And then I'll be the older guy rooting for the team, the financial investor.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's how clever guy do. Yeah, really interesting.